What's going on, guys? It's your boy Ethan. Hope you're having a great day. Today here we are currently in San Antonio, Texas, traveling all over the place, but we're playing on the Rounders Card Club live stream that's going to start in a few minutes. But first time here at Rounders. This place is amazing. There's like a ton of tables behind me, but what's really cool, obviously there's poker tables, there's a golf simulator, and what's better than one golf simulator are two golf simulators. I think I'm gonna have a blast here. I'm here for the next 3 days, so not only am I gonna play some poker, probably gonna go swing some golf clubs because that's all I love doing too, and hitting some balls, along with getting a haircut. It's much needed. I'm on the road. Whatever, I need a haircut. So this place is just absolutely awesome. I don't know. But the stream should be a good time. We're playing 5-10, uncapped, so it's gonna be a pretty big game, and can't wait to get started. So next video you'll see is a meetup game. The video after that will be a 25-50 stream here. Anyways, let's get into the hands, but if you haven't subscribed yet, that's always much appreciated if you want to go do that. But yeah, let's hop into the stream, get some cards in the air. So I'm recording this first hand history from the comfort of the hotel because unfortunately this happened right before the stream started. The hand starts off, we look down at 5-7 offsuit. I think we're in under the gun +2 and we're in the $50 straddle, so 5-10, 25, 50 for this game. And the pre-flop action is pretty easy. 4 people limp to me and I check my option. So it's a 5-way limped pot with 250 in the middle. The flop comes 10, 6, 4, 2 hearts. So we've got an open ender, and the player on my right decides to throw out a bet of $150 into the pot. Here we're just open-ended and certainly can just call, but I think we have a better opportunity to take down and win this pot by putting in a raise and thinning out the field. So I decided to raise it up to $600, apply some pressure. I don't think this player is going to have too strong of holdings, but when I raise to 600, the player on my left decides on making the call for 600 total. Seems like someone who's going to be playing a lot of hands. Action folds back to the player to my right, and he comes along as well. So all of a sudden, this little limpy poo pot has become a relatively big one. Let's try to improve. When the turn comes a jack, not the jack of hearts, so everything kind of bricks out essentially and only improves like jack 10 that could reasonably be in this hand. The player on my right checks, and I think I can check or just continue firing. And considering both players are relatively short stack with like 2,500 deep, I'm gonna go with a bet of $750. If anyone calls, we're probably just gonna rip it all in and hope that they fold. But upon the 750 bet, the player on my left just thinks about it for a while and ends up just ripping his stack in there for 2,500. The player on my right folds, and I'm gonna snap fold this one as well with 7 high. Can't really call this off, unfortunately, so not really going well the first hand in. The second hand we play right before the stream starts, we pick up King Queen of clubs in the small blind, still playing 5, 10, 25, 50, and Seti in middle position or whatever position to act, he decides to bump it up and raise to 200. There's one call in the hijack, I believe, and now on to me. We're out of position, definitely going to need to raise it up here, and we have a pretty good holding. So I just 3-bet to $900, and for context, I have about $20,000 or just under $20,000 in stack. Seti, I think he covers me at this point with like 21, 22,000. So we're playing relatively deep for this 5-10 game, and action folds to Seti. He decides that 900 is not enough and puts in the 4-bet to 3,100. The other player in the middle hijack gets the hell out of there and back onto us. King Queen is a pretty decent hand to play, but we're out of position, and although we're playing really deep stack, so I can consider calling it off a lot. Earlier on in the stream, just gonna let this one go. I don't really know about what to do in this hand, so let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you would have called this one. The 4-bet was relatively big, so considering that we're out of position, that was like kind of the main issue with this hand. If we call, it seems like we're just kind of hoping to see a good flop for us, which isn't the best way to play a hand, not the best plan to have. So I'll let this one go and just torch $900 into the abyss. Let me know if you guys would have called or taken a different line. Would love to hear what you guys thought in the comments below. So after those two unfortunate hands, we're chipping down a little bit, but in this one, trying to climb back with ace-jack offsuit. We're in the cutoff, and there is a +2 open to $100. +3 makes the call, hijack makes the call, and now in the cutoff, I definitely want to 3-bet more. Trying to isolate the field or play in position. We'll see what happens. I put in a 3-bet to 600. Folds around to the hijack player, who is the only caller to our surprise, and we're off to see a flop. Flop comes queen jack 4, 2 spades. He checks to me, and with middle pair, top kicker, definitely can bet a lot of the time here, I think, but we have a spade. We can just easily check this one back in position and see a turn. The turn comes the deuce of diamonds. Now he decides to bet out $600. And given the line that we've taken, definitely not going to go anywhere, I make the call, and we're going to evaluate a river. The river is now the king of spades, and this is when things get a little tricky on this river card. He decides to bet out $1,100 into me, and facing this bet, I think at this point, with a card that hits me a lot more than him, holding a spade in hand as well, I think we can credibly turn our hand into a bluff, as we have a lot of two-pair combos, some sets, some flushes as well. So I decided to go for it and just apply a lot of pressure. Maybe he's bluffing. Maybe we have some queen X holding that we can put a lot of pressure to. But I tried out and raised to $4,500. And luckily, as you can see on screen, he doesn't have too much and makes the easy fold. We're bluffing with the best hand, but I think we put ourselves into a much better spot raising here opposed to calling. So scooping that pot up and hoping to have more momentum on our side, we pick up aces here after 2 hours of card deadness. Haven't played a hand in a while, but with the $50 straddle on, I put in a raise to $200. Folds around to the big blind, and he makes the call. Off to see a flop here with a premium. The flop comes king 3-4, 2 clubs, and he checks to me. Pretty good board for us. I mean, hard to have a bad board with aces. I put in a small C bet of $175, and facing this bet, he thinks it's not enough and decides on a little check raise. Check raises to $425, and I'm loving this spot. Finally, we have a pretty good spot to get paid after a very slow start, as we've been playing for about 3 hours now. I decide on just making the call and see a turn in position. The turn is the 9 of diamonds. It's a complete brick on this board, and now he decides to slow down and check. Think it's a little strange, not sure what to make of it, mainly putting him on some draws like 5-6 or ace deuce or something like that. Anyways, I bet out $1,000 as I clearly can't check this one back, and he thinks about it for a long time. After thinking it over, he ends up making the call, but given how long he thought about it, it doesn't seem like he has too strong of a hand. Anyways, when the river is the deuce of hearts, it seems like another brick, although 5-6 does get there. He checks for another time, and I'm not sure how much money I can bet. Given the action and line taken on this hand so far, it doesn't seem like he has a king or a super strong one pair holding. Sometimes he can have some 5-6 hands, so we decided to just bet out $450. I think this really small, tiny bet could potentially induce another check raise as a bluff, or if he does have a straight, he could also raise as well, and we'll have to see what kind of sizing he chooses. But luckily, it doesn't come to that, as he only just makes the call. We show our hand and win, and looks like we got max value against a pair of fours. In the hand after that, we pick up ace-jack off. We're under the gun, and on the $25 straddle, the button opens it up to $125. Small blind makes the call, and I think this is another pretty good spot to squeeze with ace-jack. So out of position against the button player, I size up to $650. And of course, we're in Texas, Action City. The button and small blind both call. Going to a flop of king 3 deuce 2 spades, holding the ace of spades in hand and seeing a king high flop seems like a good spot to continue betting and bluffing. I bet out $650, and luckily both of them didn't connect with this board too hard. They both end up making the fold, and a nice way to make $1,300 here. So this is when the stream ends. Unfortunately, we just didn't pick up too many hands on our time on the stream. We end up down a few $100, but the play continues and resumes. Now we're onto the off-stream madness. One of the first interesting hands we play off-stream, picking up queen 9 offsuit and +1. There's a $50 straddle on, and when action folds to the big blind, he makes the call. Under the gun makes the call as well, and I check my options, so 3 ways in this limpy-pooed pot. The flop comes queen jack 4 rainbow with top pair. The under the gun player to my right bets out $100. We're not going to go anywhere. I think raising is a little bit of an overplay, so I make the call, and we're going heads up to a turn. Turn comes the 6 of spades. This just doesn't change anything. And once again, he fires out $200. For that price, I'm happy to call once again. And we're off to see a river with top pair. The river is now an 8, so not amazing as 10-9 does get there. And for the third time, he triple barrels it off to $400. I think as played and given the strength of our hand with top pair, just not going to fold. This player is certainly capable of bluffing with air, all 3 streets as well. So let's just see what he's got. I make the call. He announces 2 pair. Not going to be good for us. He's going to win, but he has queen 8. So had him out kicked the whole way. That lovely river gives him the pot. And for the last interesting hand of this session, queen jack of spades in the low jack, I decide to open things up to $75. And we get the button and big blind to call. So 3 ways to a flop here of jack high in jack 4 deuce 2 hearts. With top pair and a decent kicker, I bet out $80 into the field. The button folds, but now onto this big blind player who decides that 80 is not big enough and actually check raises to 325. This is the same player who's done this to me on stream with middle pair. So certainly know that he doesn't have to have a super strong hand when he check raises. I'm not going to go anywhere with top pair and a decent kicker. I make the call. Off to a turn, which comes the king of clubs. Pretty whack turn, as this should hit me more than him as the pre-flop aggressor. But anyways, he continues for another bet of 450. I think really the only hand we're losing to are sets that are credible and sometimes just king high flush draws. But we beat pretty much everything else, so I'm not folding just yet. I make the call. Going to see a river with the pot building. The river is the 8 of clubs. It's a total brick on this board and all the draws missed. He decides on a check now and onto me. Given the line and the action, I think our jack can be good here a lot of the time, and there's really no need to bet as I don't think worse hands can call. So I just check this one back, and to our surprise, he has us beat with ace jack offsuit. Unfortunately, after playing for a long while, we couldn't get much going, but it's time to rack up. All right, just got back from the Rounders Card Club here. And the 510 stream was enjoyable for sure. I loved the production and loved the people that ran it and the commentators. So big shout out to JT. And yeah, all things considered, I don't know what it is recently. I just can't win a pot. I don't know. We played for 6 hours total. On stream, you didn't see a whole lot. And off stream, you didn't see a whole lot. Just didn't have that many hands to talk about, unfortunately. Just, I don't know what it is. Recently, the past few live streams, it's like we've been relatively card dead, and we can't really win that many pots. I think the whole night, like, you saw all the winning pots I've had because that was it. And then, you know, you kind of, like, straddle a lot, and if you want to call or whatever, like, I played a few hands, but nothing crazy, and just kept losing. So we were in the game for 30,000, out of the game for 27,500. So it's a loss of 2,500 bucks, which, in all things considered, isn't that bad at all. Just winning like 2 pots throughout 6 hours of playing poker. I don't know. This might be a curse. This new watch of mine, I think in like Chinese tradition, blue face watches are not good luck, and I might have to take it off. I don't know. Every time I wear this Rolex and this new watch, it's just running bad and just not even catching cards to play with. But at least we won that ACES hand, which is really nice, and got some money out of that hand. But besides that, I can't say we won or played too many hands. So hopefully things can pick it up. The next video you're going to watch is a meetup game. We're going to play a bunch of 1-2, 1-2-5 stakes. So it'll be really chill and really cool to meet everyone that watches the channel around the San Antonio area. And after that video, we'll play a 25-50 on stream. So that we better just like figure it out. At least catch some cards. I'm not running great, but I'm also just really not catching any cards to play, and that's not fun for the vlog. So yeah, hopefully we can pick it up. But thanks so much for watching this video. If you made it to the very end, that like button is free. Really helps the channel grow. And besides that, thanks so much for sticking to the end. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.